Today we are going to read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Now let's start. I've come to bring Harry to his aunt and uncle. They're the only family he has left now. You don't mean? You can't mean the people who live here? Cried Professor McGonagall, jumping to her feet and pointing at number 4. Dumbledore, you can't. I've been watching them all day. You couldn't find two people who are less like us. And they've got this son. I saw him kicking his mother all the way up the street, screaming for sweets. Harry Potter coming and live here? It's the best place for him, said Dumbledore firmly. His aunt and uncle will be able to explain everything to him when he's older. I've written them a letter. A letter, repeated Professor McGonagall finally, sitting back down on the wall. Really, Dumbledore? You think you can explain all this in a letter? These people will never understand him. He is famous, a legend. I would be surprised if today was known as Harry Potter Day in the future. There will be books written about Harry. Even Charlie in our world will know his name. Exactly, said Dumbledore, looking very serious over the top of his half-moon glasses. It would be enough to turn anyone's head. Famous before he can walk and talk. Famous but something he will be remember. You can see how much better off he will be growing up away from all that until he's ready to take it. Professor McGonagall opened her mouth, closed in her mind, swallowed, and then said, Yes, you're right, of course. But how is the boy in here, Dumbledore? She eyed his cloak suddenly as though she thought he might be hiding Harry underneath it. Hagrid bring him. You think it wise to trust Hagrid with something as important as this? I will trust Hagrid with my life, said Dumbledore. I'm not saying his heart isn't in the right place, said Professor McGonagall grudgingly. But you can't pretend he's not careless. He does tend to. What was that? A low rumbling sound had broken the silence around them. It grew steadily louder as they looked up and down the street for some sign of a headlight. It soared to a roar as they both looked up at the sky, and a huge motorbike fell out of the air, landing in the road in front of them. If the motorbike was huge, it was nothing to the man sitting astride it. He was almost twice as a normal man, and at least 5 times as wide. He looked simply too big to be around, and so wired. Long tangle of bushy black hair and beard hid most of his face. He has the size of dustbin lids, and his face in the leather boots were like baby dolphins. In his vast muscular arms, he was holding in a bundle of blankets. Hagrid, said Dumbledore, sounding relieved. At last, and where did you get the motorbike? Borrowed it, Professor Dumbledore said the grudging giant, climbing carefully up the motorbike as he spoke. Young Sirius Black lent it to me. I got it, sir. No problem, were there? No, sir. House was almost destroyed, but I got them all right before the muggle started swarming around. He fell asleep as he was flying over Bristol. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall bent forward over the Dumbledore blankets. Inside, just visible, was a baby boy fast asleep. Until a tuft of jet black hair over his forehead, they could see a curiously shaped cut, like a bolt of light. Is that where? Whispered Professor McGonagall. Yes, said Dumbledore. He'll have that scar forever. Can't you do something about it, Dumbledore? Even if I could, I wouldn't. Scars can come in handy. In useful, I have one myself on my left knee, which is a perfect map of the London Underground. Well, giving me a Hagrid, we'll better get this over with. Dumbledore took Harry in his arms and turned towards the Dursleys' house. Could I say goodbye to him, sir? Asked Hagrid. He bent his giant shrugging head over Harry and gave him what must have been a very scratchy, whiskery kiss. Then suddenly Harry let out a howl like a wounded dog. Shh! Professor McGonagall. You wake the muggles. Sorry! saw Hagrid taking a large spotted handkerchief and drying his face in it. But I cannot stand it. Lily and James, Dad, and poor little Harry of their lip buggers. Yes, it's all very sad, but get the grip on yourself, Hagrid, or we'll be found. Professor McGonagall whispered, patting Hagrid gingerly on the arm as Dumbledore stepped over the log on the wall and walked to the front door. He laid Harry gently on the doorstep, took a letter out of his cloak, tucked it inside Harry's blankets, and then came back to the other two. For a full minute, the three of them stood and looked at the little bundle. Harry's shoulders shook. Professor McGonagall blinked furiously, and the twinkling light that usually shone from Dumbledore's eyes seemed to have gone out. Well, said Dumbledore finally, that's that. We have no business staying here. We may as well go join the celebrations. Yeah, said Hagrid in a very muffled voice. I pass this bag away. Good night, Professor McGonagall, Professor Dumbledore, sir. Wiping his streaming eyes on his jacket sleeve, Hagrid swung himself onto the motorbike and kicked the engine into life. With a roar, it rose into the air and up into the night. I'll see you soon, I expect, Professor McGonagall, said Dumbledore, nodding to her. Professor McGonagall blew her eyes in reply. Dumbledore turned and walked back to the street. On the corner, he stopped and looked at on a silver put-outer. He clicked it once, and 12 balls of light sped back to their street lamps, as though the previous light glowed suddenly orange, and he could make out a tabby cat sneaking around the corner at the other end of the street. He could just see the bundle of blankets on the step on number 4. Good luck, Harry, he mumbled. He turned on his heel, and with a swish of his cloak, he was gone. A breeze ruffled the neat hedges of Privet Drive, which lay silent and tidy under the inky sky. The very last place you expect in astounding things to happen. Harry Potter rolled over inside his blankets without waking up. One small hand closed on the letter beside him, and he stepped on, not knowing he was famous, not knowing he was special, not knowing he was famous, not knowing he would be walking in a few hours' time by Mrs. Dursley's scream as she opened the front door to put out the milk bottles, or knowing that he would spend the next few weeks being prodded and pinched by his cousin Dudley. He couldn't know that at this very moment, people meeting in secret all over the country were holding up their glasses and saying in hushed voices, "To Harry Potter, the boy who lived." Okay, so this is the end of chapter 1, and this is the end of our story now. Next time we'll be reading chapter 2. Okay, so